Good afternoon. Welcome, members and guests. I always get choked up at these moments. Members and guests to the Rotary Club of York, the 26th largest club in the world and a club dedicated to the Rotary mission of service above self. I'm Glenn Miller, and it's my honor to be leading my first meeting as your president. I want to express my sincere thanks to all of you who have been so kind in the past weeks with your emails and warm wishes and notes and pressure. Grateful for the support and for the many offers to help me this year. They will all be taken up. Our opening song today, My Country 'Tis of Thee, will be led by Leanne Wilson. Following the Pledge of Allegiance, our invocation will be led by Steve Feldman, and visitor introductions will be introduced by Norman Humbler. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones.
No karaoke, no violin, just singing. Rotarians and guests, please join me in My Country 'Tis of Thee. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For our invocation today, I ask each of you to enter into contemplation on three things. The first is simple: gratitude for our fellowship, for our food, and for those who prepared and served it. The second is a little more complex: gratitude for the ideals of Rotary captured in 4 words: truth, fair, mutually beneficial, and all. And the last is a quotation, always a little tough in a setting like this. Comes from John Parrish Peede, the chairman of the National Endowment for the Humanities, on their slogan for the nation's semi-quincentennial, how do you like that word, coming up in 2026. To talk of a more perfect union is to stay in continuity with Americans and their contributions in all eras. It is a way to maintain a bond with them and to always be moving toward, to quote Lincoln, the better angels of our nature. It is an opportunity to talk about the full wonder and complexity of this nation. Amen.
I am pleased to have the honor of introducing our guest for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Glenn has welcomed you. Jonathan Pinkerton, guest of Kevin Schreiber. Jane Bachman, guest of Joan Murmert. Terry Altland, guest of Joan Murmert. Paige Bowermaster, guest of our speaker. Rita Whitney, guest of Kelly Gibson. Ophelia Chambliss, guest of Kelly Gibson. Melissa Beaverson, guest of Laura Guerreri. Sully Pinos, guest of Kevin Schreiber.
Thank you, Norm. It is my delight to welcome my first group of visitors to the club today. Friends, we are very glad to have you here. I hope you will enjoy today's program. I trust that you will, and I hope even more that you will consider returning to us again as a visitor or perhaps making the Rotary Club of York a part of your life. Members, please help me welcome our visiting Rotarians and guests. Several announcements. The membership committee will be meeting today following this meeting at 1:30 downstairs in the mixed grill. The America 250 PA group, connected to our speaker today, will be meeting following this meeting, not in the mixed grill downstairs, but rather in the terrace room down the hall. Please make note if you are a part of that. We need your help to draft great players for building our great team. And I am talking, of course, about the Rotary Club of York team. During July, each time you bring a guest to the meeting, you will be entered into a drawing for a pair of tickets of your choice to either a Philadelphia Eagles home game, a Baltimore Ravens home game, or a Penn State home game. Those tickets have been generously donated by Fox 43. If you weren't motivated to bring a guest before, I would hope that that would motivate you now. This is a great way to introduce the club to people who might very possibly be interested in membership. And Jackie was really good at this during her years, so I do not want any backsliding during my year. Let's keep this going. Let's keep growing. Volunteers, and I use this word intentionally, are desperately needed at this point to help with our Get Hooked on Fishing program for city youth this summer at, pardon me, at Kiwanis Lake. The dates are July 24th, August the 6th, and August the 13th. The great news is we have lots of kids signed up who want to do this. How great is that? We do not have adequate numbers of volunteers, and in a club of our size, that should not be an issue. So please, please contact Ashley Etzweiler if there is any way that you can be a part of making this a successful Rotary program. Okay. So I have been asked to give a brief report on my attendance at the Rotary International Convention that was held in Houston, Texas this year. I'm very grateful to the club for making it possible for me to attend. Having never before been to a Rotary International Convention, I really didn't have much idea of what to expect beyond typical convention expectations. So my first surprise of sorts was the size, the sheer size of the gathering. 11,000 people. 11,000 people, a small city, was gathered in the convention center in Houston. I'm told that's about half the size of a normal pre-COVID Rotary International Convention. The sheer size was absolutely amazing. The opening exercises were frankly one of the most moving things that I have ever been a part of for an event like this. All representatives from all of the countries that were in attendance came forward with their country's flag. I was surprised at how many countries I didn't even recognize. That's how many countries there were. When the Ukrainian flag came forward, as you might imagine, the room absolutely exploded. The level of commitment necessary for a delegation to come from a country in the middle of a war is unfathomable to me, as it was to many of us in the room. It was a great privilege to meet the members of that delegation. When you are, thank you very much. When you are an organization as big as Rotary International, you get to have the Prime Minister of India actually address your group. This is, of course, the Prime Minister from the most recent Rotary Club president's native India. Breakout sessions were interesting and informative. I especially enjoyed the President's Luncheon. That's the wrong order. President's Luncheon with the President-elect at that time, Jennifer Jones. And the young man pictured with me on the left is a fellow incoming president from a club in Ohio. We had a lot of great conversation. In the exhibit hall, there were a wide variety of booths and displays, including this one. Rob Bowen, please take note. There are official Rotary Fellowship groups centered around whiskey and wine. Who knew? Tell that to your prospective visiting guests when you are inviting them to Rotary. That's the kind of fun that we have. Finally, as the saying goes, timing is everything. I happened to be walking through the hall at the same moment that President Shekhar and his wife were walking through, and he was gracious enough to stop and pose for a selfie. As all of you know, we in our club have been working hard on the issues of inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility, and we've made great strides. But I'll tell you this, if you want to understand why, at least one of the reasons why this is so important, just go to a Rotary International convention and spend 10 minutes there. You will understand the breadth and the depth of inclusivity that is already present in Rotary International. It was the largest, most inclusive group of individuals I think I've ever been under one roof with in my entire life. That's what Rotary already is. That's what we're striving to get closer to. It was, again, a great experience. I'm deeply grateful to the club for making it possible. And this was the high point of the convention for me. I got to see my son. Last week, I gave you my dad. This week, I give you my son. Thank you very much. So we are 10 minutes in or so to my first meeting, and I'm about to make my first change. It has struck me for the entire nearly 11 years that I have been in this club that we're the only organization I can think of whose executive director never, ever gets a chance to speak to the whole group. Have you ever thought about that? Well, I have. I thought it was odd when Bert was our executive, and I continued to think it was odd with Lynn as our executive. And now that I am your president, I thought I might do something about it. So beginning today, on most Wednesdays, I'll be asking Lynn to come forward to handle some element of the meeting. What element may change from week to week, but something. It's a small thing perhaps, but at least it is a way that we will get to hear from our executive on a regular basis. So Lynn, podium's all yours.
Well, thanks, President Glenn. I think I want to be in charge of the fun element. We'll talk about that. Wine and whiskey. So I'm pleased to share with you today that thanks to the very good work of past President Mike Summers, as well as the great program committee, we have a sizzling lineup of some fantastic programs to heat up our Rotary meetings this summer. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of them. Next week, Sarah Parrish will be here from Campus Door. Campus Door is a new to York business that moved here from Carlisle recently. Campus Door has processed more than 30 billion in private student loans. So we need to hear from her about that. On July 20th, we're going to introduce you to Tavon Parker, the narrative changer. From college dropout felon, and failed businessman to now helping youth in our community and inspiring others to change the narrative through his motivational messages and mentorship. On July 27th, DA David Sunday and WellSpan's Dr. Mitch Crawford will discuss the Community Action for Recovery and Diversion Project, also known as CARD. The CARD program aims to address the needs of people with unmet behavioral health concerns in the York criminal and family justice system. You definitely want to be here on August 3rd when we'll meet Julie Ng. She's the founder of Neely's Foods. She will share her immigrant success story in developing a York food manufacturing business built on her mom's family recipe right here in York. I look forward to enjoying all of these programs and hope you can imagine what it's like to be in the room for them this summer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lynn. And now past President Josh George will introduce our newest member. Josh?
Thank you, President Glenn, and I am impressed that you've already found a way to get out of work by having Lynn come up and do part of your job. As President Glenn mentioned a few minutes ago, we are helping to build the team, and it's my distinct pleasure to have the first chance this year to induct a new member during President Glenn's term as president. So we're getting off with a +1 on your first day. Excellent work so far. So today we are joined by new member Melissa Rosario. Melissa is a graduate of the Round Lake High School in Illinois and came to York to go to York College of Pennsylvania, where she earned her Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. She is currently a business development associate with Business Information Group, and with her husband owns the Cornerstone Barbershop. So if you need a haircut or any IT services, she's the one for you. Her volunteer activities include she is the merchant coordinator for the WeCo district in downtown York. She is an organizer of the Cornerstone Cleanup, which is a trash collection program that she's been doing for the last 3 years. And she is a project committee member of the Redevelopment Authority of York. Her hobbies include portrait painting. President Glenn, need a portrait? Mm-hmm. Also reading, bike riding, and film photography. I didn't even know you could still buy film. She is married to Jason. They have 2 kids, Aiden, who is 13, and Addis, who is 9. And she shared with me at the table that she is expecting her 3rd and is due in January. So if you'd like to congratulate her on that, that's very cool. She is proposed by Mike Black. Thank you, Mike. And I wanted to add that I just found this out while we were sitting here. She is also a recipient of our non-traditional student scholarship, which she got in 2020. So you can see the payment and the dividends for that process coming back to return on that investment here in the Rotary Club of York. Ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Rosario.
Melissa, we are delighted to welcome you to the Rotary Club of York. I know that you're going to find this a meaningful experience. I know that we're going to benefit tremendously from having you as a part of our team. So thank you again so much for being here. And now it is my pleasure, without further ado, to welcome Rotarian and local historian par excellence, Joan Mummert. Who else would you have to introduce someone talking to us about our program today? So without further ado, Joan, the podium is yours.
Greetings, Rotarians. Today I have the unique honor to make history. For the first time in nearly 250 years of our country's history, I'm introducing and welcoming to our club, Cassandra Coleman, Executive Director of Pennsylvania Commission for the United States semi-quincentennial. Can you all say that? 5 times fast, please. Otherwise known as America's 250th PA Commission. Perhaps you've heard that our country will be celebrating its 250th birthday in 2026. The Pennsylvania Commission was established by the legislature and the governor in 2018 to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, Pennsylvania's integral role in that event, and the impact of its people on the nation's past, present, and future. The commission is comprised of individuals across our Commonwealth and across industries and demographics. York County government has an appointment to this commission. We were first represented by our county treasurer, Barbara Bear. More recently, after Barbara stepped down from that role, our commissioners appointed our own past president, Rotarian Brian Tate, to represent our county. Certainly, we in the historical community are excited to celebrate this important anniversary for our country, but it's also an important opportunity to share York County's history. Incidentally, York County will celebrate its own 275th birthday in 2024. So yeah, we are a little bit older than the country, but truth is we don't look a day older than 250. Cassandra, the real reason why we're here, Cassandra was appointed as the commission's executive director in September of 2019 by Governor Tom Wolf. Previously, she served as special advisor to the office of the governor, Tom Wolf, and served as director of the governor's Northeast and Central offices. In this role, she was responsible for intergovernmental and constituency services on behalf of the governor in 28 counties. Ms. Coleman previously served as finance director and deputy campaign manager, respectively, for the Tom Wolf for Governor campaign from 2013 through 15. She's also served as deputy finance director for United States Senator Bob Casey from 2010 to 13. She has spent a lifetime in public service, beginning at a very young age. At the age of 20, Cassandra was appointed mayor of her hometown, Exeter Borough, to fill her late grandfather, Mayor Joseph Coyne's unexpired term. Thank you. Following her appointment, Cassandra was re-elected mayor twice and left to join the Wolf administration. But even before that, she served as a junior council representative for Exeter Borough during her junior and senior years of high school. Ms. Coleman has made history of her own, foremost being first director of the PA 250th Commission, and previously as one of the youngest female mayors in the history of the United States. She was featured in Oprah magazine in a segment titled Women Who Defy Age. Cassandra was also featured in a national NBC segment called The Smart Woman. And the Times Leader Media Group honored Cassandra twice for her accomplishments in 2008 as a top 40 under 40 recipient, and named her in 2019 as one of 14 distinctive women. In 2019, she was honored to be chosen one of Northeast Pennsylvania Business Journal's top 25 women in business. In her community, Cassandra is a board member of Leadership Wilkes-Barre, Junior Leadership of Wilkes-Barre, and Children's Service Center. Cassandra is a 2010 graduate of King's College in Wilkes-Barre, where she earned a degree in political science. Perhaps her greatest achievement is being proud mother to Jimmy, who is 7 years old, and I had the pleasure of seeing him recently. Cassandra continues to reside in Exeter, Missouri County, Pennsylvania. We are honored to have you here today.
Thank you so much for that introduction. We have to cut that bio back a little bit, but Kevin, But thank you so much for having me here today. It's truly an honor. And I'm here to talk about the 250th anniversary of the United States. And to sit back and really think about that is just amazing. And this is such a milestone, once in a lifetime opportunity. I look at this every day in this role, and really, truly, I'm honored to be able to represent the Commonwealth and to travel the Commonwealth and truly get to see these amazing communities that make up the Commonwealth as a whole, but also, that really demonstrates that Pennsylvania pride that we are trying to showcase to the rest of the country and the world in some cases through this historic initiative. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the background of the commission and then talk a little bit about some of our already launched programs and projects and some of the ones that are in the hopper to be launched over the next 6 to 12 months. I was going to say next slide, but I have the clicker. So America 250 PA was created in 2018 by legislation through the legislature and signed into existence by the governor. And we actually did that in response to congressional legislation that was passed in 2016 down in DC. That specific piece of legislation created a national commission to plan all of the programs, projects, and events nationally around the 250th in 2026. And in that piece of legislation, they specifically named 5 priority cities of celebration, one of those being right here in the Commonwealth in Philadelphia. So we had Representative Jared Solomon, a Democrat, and former Representative Alex Charlton, a Republican, get together after that congressional legislation was passed. And they said, this is a real opportunity for Pennsylvania. How do we get out of the gates first? How do we create a state commission and truly make our mark to lead the country in these activities and into this initiative? So they created the Pennsylvania Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial. And Joan, you actually stole my line because I always say, try to say that 5 times fast, and you can't. Most folks are still working on trying to say semi-quincentennial. We like to call it the semi-quin, but we are keeping consistent with the national organization, which is known as America 250. So all of the states that are creating commissions are being called America 250 PA, America 250 NY, etc. So one of the first things we did as a commission that we're extremely proud of to truly demonstrate that bipartisanship behind this project is we reached out to all of the former governors as well as our current governor and asked them to serve as co-chairs. All of them immediately agreed. And at first, I looked at this and said, that'll be great. They'll put their name on this, give it some legitimacy, credibility. The governors have been so engaged at all of our events, part of our strategic planning, really trying to help get the word out, going and doing presentations and different shows and media opportunities with us to really, truly demonstrate that this is a project and an initiative for every county and every Pennsylvanian. So our commission is made up of 24 appointed members. Each caucus of the legislature and the governor have their appointments, as well as 15 ex officio members. These are some of the larger state agency secretaries, as well as our attorney general, auditor general, and treasurer. One of the other first things that we did as soon as we started to build the foundation for this commission was we wanted to ensure that as many diverse perspectives as well as geographical balance were represented on the commission. So we created our our advisory and our county advisory committees. The advisory committees are appointed by the America 250 PA Commission, and the county advisory committee members are appointed by each of the 67 counties. Our legislation calls for this to be a 67 county-wide initiative. So it's super important to make sure that every county has a seat at the table to be represented. We've asked all of our 67 counties to pass the America 250 PA resolution, becoming official county partners. I was actually at the commissioners meeting this morning, and they are passing theirs in August. And we've also asked all of the municipalities in the Commonwealth to pass the resolution, becoming partners. As a former borough mayor, I'm really excited to say we have almost 30 county partners, and we have over 200 local municipalities across the Commonwealth that have partnered with us officially by passing the resolution. Again, these are just some of our Commonwealth partners that are helping us with our efforts and sit on the board. And our mission is truly to make 2026 epic as we educate, preserve, innovate, and eventually celebrate. We did a to really come up with what Pennsylvanians wanted to see through the 250th activities. We launched a general survey in the very beginning of this. And you'll see here on the screen the top 14 focus areas that were of importance to those over 1,800 Pennsylvanians that responded to the survey. So these are the focus areas that all of our programs, projects, and events will focus on, incorporating them into our 12 platforms that we've adopted, each having a Pennsylvania specific focus. And these are all available on our website and in the brochures on your table as well in more detail. There we go. Okay. So just to talk through some of our programs, projects, and events. So our Direct Effect Innovation Challenge. This is a partnership with over 35 colleges and universities across the Commonwealth. This fall, we're going into our 4th year. This challenges Pennsylvania students to come up with integrated marketing concepts to issue a challenge. We actually have Paige here with us today. Paige was a participant in the DEIC last year, really stood out to us. We brought her on as an intern, and now she works part-time for us. She's a student at PCAD. So the Direct Effect Innovation Challenge truly takes our Pennsylvania talent and puts them in front of judging panels of Pennsylvania businesses to really make that connection. We want to keep our Pennsylvania talent here. Our Young Heroes Outreach Program. This is a partnership with the National Liberty Museum. This brings civics back into the classroom. This teaches 5th through 8th graders to identify a community problem, work through the democratic small d decision-making process, and ultimately come up with a solution to that community problem. We have an example of a young student in Philadelphia who went through this program, identified there was no place for him and his friends to play, like a park. They wrote to their council folks, they wrote to community foundations, and those children were able to cut a ribbon on a park, which again, having these students be able to see the difference that they can make in their communities. So we are launching this program across the Commonwealth. We actually have this in York schools now. Our semi-quincentennial bells. These are our bronze permanent bells. These are to honor historic stories across the Commonwealth that may have been left out of the history books. Our first bronze permanent bell is going to be unveiled next year at the Dennis Farm. The Dennis Farm is in Susquehanna County, and it is the longest freely owned African-American owned farm in the country, right here in the Commonwealth. So we're so proud to have their partnership. Bells Across PA. This is a way for us to highlight our Pennsylvania artists. These are fiberglass Liberty bells. We hope to have one in each of our 67 counties, and we will commission local artists to design these to be reflective of their community. The Liberty Tree Project, in partnership with the Pennsylvania Freemasons. This will plant a certified Liberty tree in each of the 67 counties. The Liberty trees were actually propagated from the original Liberty tree that the Revolutionaries used to make their plans under. Pennsylvania Day coming up July 20th. We're actually partnered with Feeding Pennsylvania and the local food banks. We still have volunteer shifts here in York that need to be filled for that. So this is our way. This is our volunteer and give back component of this commission. Last year, we had 250 volunteers across 13 food banks and packaged over 8,000 boxes for our fellow Pennsylvanians. Memorial flag donation. So this is actually our partnership with the county veterans offices as well as DMVA to ensure and supplement the funding to make sure that as many Pennsylvania service member graves have an American flag from Memorial Day through Veterans Day in 2026. Our PA Proud Service Member Spotlight Series, you can go to our website and nominate a service member to be highlighted, and we're going to do a large event in 2026 on Veterans Day and honor all of those service members that are spotlighted. Our Road to 2026, this will be launching hopefully this fall in partnership with Capital Blue Cross, Independence Blue Cross, and Highmark. This will be our health and wellness effort. This will encourage Pennsylvanians to get out and see the beautiful Commonwealth, but encourage them to log their miles in county and state parks, as well as historical locations. And then what we'll do is we'll feature one of those sites each week, every other week, and offer giveaways for folks who actually log their miles there. It's a 4-part challenge, 250 miles each challenge for walkers and runners and 2,500 for bikers. Each time you complete one of those challenges, you get a piece of the 4-piece commemorative medal for 2026. Start Here America Did podcast series. This will also be launching this fall. This is our way of storytelling. This is our way of truly highlighting all of those unique stories that make up that diverse fabric of this Commonwealth. And our K through 4th grade Keystone Classroom Initiative. This is a partnership with, hopefully we're working on local celebrities, local historical reenactors, Historic Philadelphia. We have a swag bag that we are partnering with Pennsylvania Department of Education to go into K through 4 classrooms and hand out a swag bag for the kids with an America 250 PA coloring book. Thank you to Paige for designing it. We have a partnership with Crayola, some smart juice boxes, t-shirt for the kids. Really, I have a 7-year-old, trying to engage them to understand that this historic anniversary is coming and on their level to do that. Looking to partner with local mascots, the things that really get the kids excited. We also have officially recognized status. This is for partner organizations that have a 250th themed program, project, or event that will run parallel to us. So the more information about becoming officially recognized is also on our website. So when we were created in 2018, we were actually created with no appropriation. So the Commonwealth came back to us and said, if we truly show that there is private interest in this project, that the Commonwealth would look to fund us. So we went back in the fall of last year, extremely proud to say we raised over $1 million in private funding for this project. And the Commonwealth has given us small, but an appropriation now for the last year and a half. These are some of the folks who stepped up very early and helped keep us in existence while we work to really build the groundwork. Again, same here. Thanks to all of our supporters. We also have a nonprofit affiliate program for any 501c3 in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This has these nonprofits on quarterly calls, engaged in the development and conversations around the programs, projects, and events. These are the folks we look to for event space, meeting space, places to house our bells, our trees. Again, any 501c3 can join. It's a one-time $250 fee to America 250 PA. And again, it engages them in all of our efforts. And I have a quick video here.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
That amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
In 1776, representatives of 13 colonies gathered in Philadelphia to sign the Declaration of Independence.
250 years ago, right here in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania is a commonwealth with a rich history, with diverse citizens and amazingly beautiful resources. In 2026, we celebrate 250 years of this great nation.
We want to specifically celebrate Pennsylvania and all its contributions to America.
Besides being the cradle of democracy, Pennsylvania has contributed many firsts to America.
Titusville saw the first oil well in 1864, which launched the modern-day petroleum industry.
In Harrisburg, we have the longest stone arch bridge in the world, constructed in 1902.
In Lake Carolina, the first basketball stadium, Forbes Field, was built in Pittsburgh.
And of course, Pennsylvania is the birthplace of Little League Baseball. Its inaugural season was in 1939. The first Little League World Series followed and was played in Williamsport in 1947.
And let's not forget, the Articles of Confederation, the precursor to our nation's Constitution, were drafted in York, Pennsylvania.
Did you know that Pennsylvania has over 59,000 farms and the largest rural population in the nation?
Philadelphia is home to Independence Hall, the birthplace of the United States of America.
Philadelphia claims a lot of firsts.
The American flag.
The first theater. The newspaper.
The first stock exchange.
The piano. The first computer.
The first art museum and school. The Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts was founded in 1805.
The Philadelphia Zoo was America's first zoo.
Philadelphia was also home to the first post office as we know it today, with Benjamin Franklin serving as our first postmaster general.
Pennsylvania is home to some of the best businesses in the world.
And we are proud of all the products made right here by our skilled workers.
We have Zippo lighters in Bradford.
Martin Guitars in Nazareth.
Harley Davidson in York.
Tasty Cake in Philadelphia.
We have Play World, a division of Play Power in Lewisburg.
Crayola crayons in Easton. My favorite color is green. My favorite color is red. My favorite color is silver. My favorite color is light pink.
We have America's oldest brewery, Yingling, in Pottsville.
Hers, Utz, Martin's, Wise, and Middlesworth. All right here in Pennsylvania.
Heinz Ketchup.
America's favorite ketchup.
Smith's hot dogs.
Hershey's chocolate in Hershey.
And let's not forget, Pennsylvania is home to some of the best sports teams in the country.
We have the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have the Philadelphia Eagles.
We have the Philadelphia Phillies.
We have the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Penguins.
We have the 76ers.
We have the Philadelphia Union.
So much to be proud of.
So much to celebrate.
2026 is coming.
Are you excited?
Are you Pennsylvania proud? How do you want to see Pennsylvania celebrate?
How do you want to see Pennsylvania recognize our heritage?
We want the celebration
To be epic.
Educate, preserve, innovate, celebrate.
This only happens once every 250 years. Let's have some fun.
Are you in?
Are you in?
Hal untun mane.
Join us.
Join us.
Únete a nosotros.
Join us.
America 250 PA.
Amérique 250 PA.
America 250 PA.
Pennsylvania proud.
Pennsylvania recupérame.
Pennsylvania proud.
250 years. 250 年. 250 anni.
250 years.
It all happens in 2026.
It all started right here.
Be here.
Be here.
Be here.
Be here.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Amerika.
Feliz cumpleaños, América.
Tanti auguri, America. Buon compleanno.
Happy birthday, America. You look great.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
So as you can see, we have a lot to be proud of here in the Commonwealth, and so much more that didn't even make it into the video. Pennsylvania is the birthplace of democracy, and we are by far leading the rest of the country on these efforts. We're actually referred to as the gold standard with the national organization, where other states are looking to us for advice and guidance almost on a weekly basis. So it's going to take all of us to partner together to truly keep that lead. So I hope all of you will join us and become a part of history. So thank you again for having me here today. I'm happy to take questions. So we have, sure. What are the plans for the preserve part of EPIC? So a couple things. We have a subcommittee right now that is dedicated to history and preservation, that they're still working through what exactly the ultimate goals are. We also have been working with the legislature. We just had a piece of legislation passed by both the House and the Senate and went to the governor's desk, creating an America 250 PA Legacy Caucus. That Legacy Caucus will be made up of multiple members of both the House and the Senate. We're looking to marry state money with federal money and private money to actually come up with 5 to 7 legacy infrastructure and or preservation projects that'll be completed by 2026 in anticipation of the 250th anniversary. So I don't have in the weeds details on exactly what the plans are on that aspect yet, but we're slowly working towards them. So our county advisory committee allows us to have one representative from the county that takes the overall America 250 PA mission and all of our signature programs and projects back to the counties, helps us implement those. However, the resolution that the counties are passing becomes official partner if the county chooses, which York is going to do. If the county chooses to add a local on the ground commission, they are then open to doing whatever planning and such, as long as there's criteria, no risk to brand, those types of things, but that they could plan their own kind of on the ground celebrations, because every county is full of its own history. So we don't want to dictate that. And like I said, with my background being in local government, I don't want to come into a community and say, this is what we're going to do. Instead, local organizations, local mayors, council, commissions, county commissioners are going to control the narrative. We're going to package it up and then push it out nationally. That makes me really happy. So we could talk after. So what we're doing is the Liberty trees are grown and have to get to a certain size before they can be planted. They're at our nurseries across the Commonwealth now. It looks like we'll have about 3 to 5 to plant in the next 6 to 8 months. And then we're starting to slate counties after that, because we have the next 5 that are already scheduled. So let's talk after that, and then we can figure out when makes the most sense. And also the locations for the Liberty trees, we'd like to have some sort of historical significance, but of course, publicly accessible, those types of things. Again, certain criteria, but I'm happy to talk, and that makes me really happy. So happy to talk to you after. Sure, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Yes. So Philadelphia, actually, the resolution was introduced and we believe it was passed. We're just waiting on, so we don't add them to our list until we have the physical copy of the resolution signed in hand. And we're just trying to get that. So it was introduced, it was discussed at a council meeting. They were supposed to pass it. I think people are on vacation. We're just trying to get the official, but they're there. Yeah, no, I know. And that honestly, after one of these presentations, one of the Philadelphia council folks was like, we're not on that list. I'm like, you need to pass the resolution. So yeah, they're working through that process. Yeah. Yes. So we actually have a set of about 18 metrics and data that we measure for every program, project, and event. So, the amount of economic impact, the amount of money raised, the amount of students or folks engaged, the amount of legislative outreach, the amount of, county engagement. So yes, all of that is there. I could happily share those with you. But we truly, like I said, our goal and the reason we have so many programs kind of such widely across the board is because we want to engage every Pennsylvanian. And what we're looking at is if we have these, different programs and projects, we're appealing to every Pennsylvanian in some way, shape, or form. Not just on the history side, not just on the education side, again, the health and wellness, like we just want everybody involved in this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. This is really an exciting thing, and particularly here in our nation's the first capital of our nation here in New York. How did I get something for that? Come on. No, we're delighted that you were here, and all of the best of luck in an amazing organization that you are overseeing, and many moving parts moving toward that celebration. I'm very pleased to share with everybody today that we are one of those nonprofits that have already signed on as a partner through our Timely Opportunities Grant option through the Community Charitable Endowment Fund. We have become an official partner in this enterprise, and we're very proud of that. And I should also reiterate how very proud we are that the county commissioners, in their wisdom, appointed Brian Tate, least surprising / best choice that the commissioners could have possibly made. Congratulations, Brian. Our speaker has graciously signed the book plate of the book, Pete the Cat's Groovy Guide to Kindness by Kimberly and James Dean. I have no idea what this has to do with Pennsylvania and American history, but it's a nice book. And so we're very grateful that you did that. This will be donated to the York Academy Regional Charter School in honor of your presence here with us today. So thank you. And as Lynn mentioned earlier, next week, Sarah Parrish, a lifelong resident of Central Pennsylvania, who has built both a family and a career in financial services, will be with us presenting her presentation on the Campus Door organization that was founded in 1995 and provides student loan origination services to more than 300 banks, credit unions, and schools. Recently, Campus Door was relocated from Carlisle to right here in York, Pennsylvania. And I believe we will end with a quote. As I said last week, we're going to be ending all of our meetings in this way. I can imagine nothing more terrifying than an eternity filled with men who were all the same. The only thing which has made life bearable has been the diversity of creatures on the surface of the globe. A quote by T.S. White. And I think Jen submitted that. Am I correct? Jen May submitted that quote for us. Rotarians, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.